Hello everyone, Chaos here, and welcome to another old-school RuneScape video. Boys and girls, the Tombs of a Mascot series is finally over, and if you ever have any questions regarding Raids 3, you can come back to this channel, as I'm sure I've covered the most important parts of the raid. For now though, we are finally going to go back to our regularly scheduled uploads, starting with this bank organization video a lot of you seem to have wanted from a poll I ran a few days ago. As always, if this video is helpful, remember to subscribe, join the Discord with the link in the description, and of course come to our amazing community. Now, before we begin, the only disclaimer I have for this video is that, as you can see, I am an unrestricted maxed player, and my bank is not going to have many raw materials or resources, as for now I'm pretty much done with the XP grind. However, I'm still gonna have a bunch of tips for you guys to know how to make your bank even better. So if you're an early or mid-level player or even an Ironman account, you can still get some helpful tips from this guide. Finally, I'm going to include a bank video I made previously right after maxing, as I had a lot more resources if you want to check it out. Okay, so why am I starting here at the Draenor Village? Well, with every bank organization video, the thing we do not want in our bank is obviously junk. If you come to the Wise Old Man here in Draenor Village and you click on More in the first option, and then could you check my items for junk, you're gonna get this little interface, and the Wise Old Man is gonna tell you which items you are never ever going to need ever again in your bank. I'm going to talk about these two items, and I'm not even going to click them because I really don't want them to disappear. So if you ever want to know what quest item you will never need again, they're going to be here, and yeah, you can keep some of them for memorabilia purposes, if that's even how you say it, but that's completely up to you. It's going to be bank space that you need later, but for now, let's go ahead and check the bank right about now. Alright, so the very first thing you will see in my bank, I'm going to give a very quick scroll, and I'm going to give you some really quick explanations as to what I recommend before even starting. Then I'm going to show you each of my tabs, and then I'm going to show you something that comes up a lot during my streams on how I can make the tabs look like this. Alright, so let's begin. Now, before we start, obviously, what tabs do I recommend in the bank? You are seeing them on screen right now. I recommend a tab for runes and teleports, skilling supplies, farming, combat gear, loot and drops, clue scrolls, outfits and fashionscape, potions and food, and finally some random items that you would want in your bank, or maybe some other things that you want to have in your POH, but for some reason you just want to keep them in your bank as well. Alright, so those are the tabs I recommend, and this is what I personally have. In my Infinity tab, or something that, doesn't really have a category, I have my runes, money, and of course some teleports, and some random items that I have here, especially my nice and juicy stack of raw rat meat. Right now I got the Mask of Rebirth, the Ancient Key, and of course the Oculus Orb for recording videos, but these are just random things that I really don't have any other space for. Now, the second tab is my skilling tab, and of course being maxed, there's only a couple of things that I want to do. So for example, you know that runecrafting is my favorite skill, so we have a couple of runecrafting items here, with the Dust Battle Staff and all. We have some coal bag, the Ectophile for the farm runs, some stamina potions, the Eclectic Impling jars for the medium clue scrolls, and just some random skilling, especially for example for farming. I have my Explorer's Ring 4, my Spade, Stranger Lockpick, and of course things from Temple Rust, runecrafting, and of course my Birdhouse runs. And whenever I'm teaching English, well, I have some anglerfish in order to AFK cooking. So this is basically my skilling tab, and I don't really need anything else because any skill that requires processing items like crafting, fletching, construction that you don't really need here are not really required in this tab anymore, so you can do whatever you wish with this tab. In the past I had ores, bars and everything, planks in here, logs, but obviously as a max player you don't really need them anymore. The second one is probably my favorite one, and of course it is the combat tab. Now I'm obviously not going to talk about every single item, but I'm gonna show you kind of, the purpose behind them, okay? So at the very top, I have 10 spaces for melee, 10 spaces for ranged, 10 spaces for magic, and 10 other spaces for both Void, Slayer, and of course the Rada's Blessing, which is useful for all of the styles. Now, other than that, I start having items that are relevant both for Slayer and bossing, and they are here depending on how useful or how common they are in my tasks. So for example, I have a cannon that I can just basically take anywhere on my Slayer trips. I have the Bone Crusher and the Ash Sanctifier, as burying things is a lot better, and it's just basically chip prayer experience that you want in the long run. There's also the Divine Pouch. We also got some God Swords, special attack items, some items for dragons, crossbows, and the list goes on. Now, obviously, the lower down the bank tab, the less common they become. Like, for example, this is to farm ecumenical keys. This is to go to Serahdom and God Wars, also for God Wars Dungeon. This is for the Wildy bosses that I'm not really doing right now, even though I should, because the Wildy update is coming, and getting those pets and drops is going to be pretty impossible, I would say. And finally, down here are just some items that I got as lending, and of course my Lightbearer, DDS, and things I use for the Tombs of a Mascot. So, my first tip when it comes to your combat tab is basically, and obviously, group things together according to the combat style, and then move down according to how common you use things, both for Slayer and bossing, and for bossing specific items, you obviously want to group them together. So for example, with the Kraken I have the Fishing Explosives, Imbued Heart. Whenever I go on bursting tasks, I have Iron Darts and the code I want. For maybe Ranged Vorkath or KBD, I have some of these items right here. So this is personally what I recommend you do, basically group things together according to the activity. Alright, so you're seeing the tab right here. If you want to copy everything or anything whatsoever, make sure to check it out. Another tab that you didn't see, well, I mean, that I didn't mention at the beginning, but you also saw at the beginning screen, is a clue scroll tab. This is mine, and every single item in here is used both for Elite, even though I don't really do Elite clue scrolls, but this is useful for Master clue scrolls. Every single item you see here is asked by Fallow and of course by Sherlock, as you need to do things in order to complete your Master clue scrolls. I just got these to go to God Wars Dungeon, but yeah, these are just basically for steps, as every time I open my clue scrolls and my caskets, I just sell them right away, and some cool things, I just store them in my POH. So this is an incredibly useful tab, because it is going to keep things organized, and you don't really need to go through these items in other tabs. And also because I really don't use them in any other place in the game. So yeah, I very much recommend, if you do either Elites, which if you do Elites, I mean, yeah, there's kind of something wrong with you. But if you do Masters, you can go to the wiki and check out all of the Master steps from both the Fallow and Sherlock, and then organize them in a way that you have easy access to all of these in order to go to whatever bank, do your challenge, and that's pretty much it. The next one is a big one. However, it's not going to be too big because I very recently cleaned out my loot tab. However, this is incredibly important and one that I want to bring a lot of attention to. So basically, in order to have a clean loot tab that I mentioned in my Slayer video, is that you want to maybe look at every single common drop on your Slayer tasks and obviously group them together according to the tier. So far I have some Ensouled Blood, some Ensouled Heads, some Dark Totem pieces, Rune items, Dragon items, and the list goes on. Obviously I have some runes, gems, Dragon Hide, and of course if I was not maxed, these would be in the skilling tab, but of course there's a lot of things that drop both ore and bars themselves. I can also do Kurasks, which drop coconut, white berries, papaya fruit, battle staves are dropped by pretty much everything. Not everything, but you know what I'm talking about. Dragon Hide from Vorkath, and everything so far so good. Herbs and seeds. And finally, the important part of the tab is obviously the bossing tab. Now, every single bossing drops, or like major boss drops, will start with the stuffed head for the specific boss, and after that I have their respective special and unique drops. Right now these are the 3 pieces of the Hydra ring that I don't currently have, but whenever I get them I'm gonna have the placeholder. One of my favorite bosses, of course, is Vorkath, and you have the Superior Dragon Bones, all of the uniques, the Manta Race. I've only gotten the Skeletal Visage and also the Dragon Bone necklace, that's nice. And obviously all of the gem tips, which is nice. Also from servers, we have all of the crystals, and of course, the drops start becoming a little less, I would say, crowded. So for example, I only have 1 row of drops for Cerberus, for Kraken, for the Calphite Queen, for Abyssal Sire, for Zulrah. For Zulrah, we have 2. For what is this? The Grotesque Guardians, of course. And then the drops start becoming a little more scarce. Like, for example, we have a Corrupted Gauntlet. This would be for the what do you call it? The Enhanced Crystal Weapon Seed, which is really nice. And of course, we have some random drops from Demonic Gorillas, Giant Mold, God Wars Dungeon, and of course, Raids 3. Steam Battle stuff that I got from a Krill Tusaroth task, which is really nice. Now, for this one, this is what I personally recommend. Maybe don't copy this if you don't want to, but obviously grab every single item that's common from your tasks and put them here in order for you to know exactly what you have at all times. And of course, you can't tell me that this actually doesn't look kind of satisfying to look at. I have no idea why I got 25 million GP here, but that, you know, it is what it is. Now, in the next one, this is what I would consider my outfit or fashionscape tab. And these 3 items are basically things that I'm pretty sure you cannot get anymore. I think you can get the Dark Dagger somewhere later with an update that they made a couple of years ago. But the Penguin card and the Demonic Sigil are things that once you finish the respective quest, you can never get anymore. There's a pretty interesting, I would say, collection of items like that, but you know, you can keep whatever you want. I also have things like teleports, like the Draken's Medallion, the Ghost Peak Amulet, things that are necessary for maybe some clue scrolls, and all of these go right here along with my achievement diary things. I also have Graceful, all of the heads from the monsters. I'm missing the Abyssal Sire head, which is kind of cringe, and also my achievement diary cape and some fire capes, and of course my other infernal cape that I got on stream. Also, I got from, I got my Guardians of the Rift items here that I don't want to get rid of the placeholders because, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to go back there for a long time, so having them here is really nice. One very big change I made a few, I would say, weeks ago or even months ago is that I moved all of my potions and my food over to this potions tab. As you can see, all of these are things that are useful, especially in high-level bossing. You have your Divine Super Combat Potion, Bastion, Prayer, Ceradom and Brew, Super Restore, Extended Super Anti-Fire, and Anti-Venom for Vorkath, Antidote, and of course the regular ones, including the Divine Arranging Potion. With that, I have some food, Purple Switch, which I don't really use. Then we got some Crystal Shards, Dust, Ham Hood for the Sigmund. This will come and hunt me every night for the rest of my life. And then, of course, some Sanfew Serums that I use for Raids 3. Finally, this is one thing I mentioned, that this is not part of my bank, but if you guys have any farming tab, or especially any herb tab, this is how I personally recommend organizing. However, you can do whatever suits you best. You can do either a vertical or an horizontal one. However, you can see that that there are going to be 5 of these slots. So for example, what do I mean by this? I do not have all of my herbs there because if I go to my loot tab, you will see that I have grimy herbs for all of these herbs that are dropped by any other like monsters or like bosses. So I can only work with these 4. Now, for example, if you grab your guams, first of all, you obviously clean them. When they're clean, you can grab your vials of water, you turn them into unfinished potions, and then after the grimy herb, clean herb, the unfinished potion, you get your secondary ingredient, and from the secondary ingredient you have your finished 3-dose potion. Now, it's completely up to you what you want to do with a potion. You want to have either the 3-dose potion here, or if you want to combine them and make your farming potion also your farming tab, also your potion tab, and obviously have the 4-dose, 3-dose, 2-dose, and 1-dose in this tab right here. This is going to be extremely useful for every type of account, not just any Ironman, because the better organized your bank is in terms of these supplies, the better, and you're not really going to have to mess around with your bank whatsoever. Right, so these are all of my tabs. One final quick look at my, cheeky bank, right now worth 3.2 bill. Pretty sure there are some items that have, bounced, up and down, which is kind of stupid, but, that is what happens with a brand new edition, brand new content. But now we are going to go to one of the most important things in the video. How do you actually get these things? I want you to go to RuneLite and go to the plugin hub, type bank tab layout, install it, and not only are you going to have these tabs, you are also going to be able to make the tabs yourself. So in this final part of the video, what I'm going to do, I do not have a tab for the Dagonoth Kings. So I am going to show you guys the full process of me making a tab, getting everything organized, and so I can finally get ready for the Dagonoth Kings in an extremely quick way. Okay, so once you have both the bank tabs and the bank tab layout, you will see it on the screen right now. Go ahead and click the plus icon that you have right here, and my new tab is going to be called DKS for obviously Dagonoth Kings. The new tab is going to go all the way down. Right click it and you're going to be able to change icon. So what happens if I type Dagonoth? You will see that I can have either the pets, the bones, but you can also type, for example, Rex. Yeah, there we go. So you can have the icon. So let's say that for this one I want to do the red one. The red one is pretty cool, right? So this is called DKS. As you will see, if I click, the tab is going to be empty, but this is where I can actually start dragging all of my items in order to get my tab going. Okay, so how does this work? In the past, I ran these tabs. However, the items would be, as they normally are. You would not be able to organize them, which was kind of stupid, but this plugin is just so insane. I'm going to show you how it works. All right, so I'm going to grab my usual setup, and that is going to be the Slayer helmet, my max cape because it helps with prayer. I'm going to go back to my combat tab, and I will put my Blood Fury, followed by some Dragon Arrows. I don't have the Garazzi Rapier anymore. It's going to be the Osmund's Fang. I use the Carol's Top, which is nice, followed by a Bando's Tassets, a Vernic Defender. Then we have Barrow's Gloves, which is going to be helpful for all combat styles. Barrow's Gloves, I believe, are all the way down here because I recently got myself a pair of Zerite Band Braces thanks to my Tombs of Mascot drops, which is really nice. I also take my Pegation Boots because I'm kind of worried about the range DPS. And finally, I take a Brimstone Ring, which helps you with pretty much every single style. However, I am going to test the Light Bearer in my next task, which should hopefully help with the Ceradome and Gossler specials, which is something I still need to get. Now, you will see that this is how this looks like, which might be like, well, Kales, that looks like garbage. What can you do with it? Well, if you go ahead and start doing this is exactly what makes this plugin so good. You can actually organize everything exactly the way you want to, and as you can see my other tabs, this is exactly the way you want them to be. Okay, now this is it for the inventory. What about the, this is it for the gear. What about the inventory? Now for the inventory, for Mage, I have the the Occult Necklace, my Sanguinesti Staff, which is right here. For Ranged, I have the Necklace of Anguish, which you can also grab items with what do you call this? With the bank slot, I believe. So even if it's empty, you can still work around with it. Then I'm going to have the cheeky Twisted Bow right here. I also need a Rune Throne Axe. Give me just 1 second. It's right here. And of course, my Dagonoth King tab starts with a pet rock, so I'm going to put it right here. I will also add, where are my Anglerfish? Nice. And then also Prayer Potions. I also want my Super Combat Potions. Range potions, even though I really don't have any right now. Antidote for the Spinal Lips. Then I want my Divine Combat, my Divine Rune Pouch. My, what do you call it? Dude, I'm losing track of everything. The Imbued Heart. And obviously it doesn't seem that I have a teleport back to my house. So obviously we're going to get the Construction Cape. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for the items. Now, how do I personally organize them? I have the Occult Necklace and the Sanguinesti, the Necklace of Anguish and the Twisted Bow, and then I have this one, and also I want I would say a 2-dose Stamina Potion would help. So we're gonna have the 2-dose Stamina Potion right here, put the, the Anglerfish, and then after that, it's just basically however you want to organize your stuff. Interesting thing is that you can right-click the whatever item you want, you can duplicate it, and if you don't want to have it like empty, you can actually have both of these, and it is going to basically be able to duplicate it in order for you to grab one more. Now, in order for me to continue with this, I am going to put the Imbued Heart right here. The Super Combat. So it's basically going to be the, the potions and everything I need. So what about I put the potions right here, and then this one, that one. And honestly, that looks like it's good to go. All right, so let me just organize it just a little bit more. There we go. Easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, that is a really good Dagonoth King tab. So in order for me to continue, imagine I have a Dagonoth King task. I am going to dump my entire equipment, and I go to Duradel. Oh, you have a Dagonoth King. So I grab everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, there are 11 slots in your gear that you want. So you shift click. This is also another important thing. If you shift click items with your bank open, that is also going to let you equip everything that you have in your inventory. Then I grab 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have just one of these. 1, 1, 2. And then, well, I mean, I don't have these. So let's go ahead and grab these just for show right now, which I grabbed 2. And go back to the King tab. Put them right here. 1, 2, 3. And then I am going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, nice, and nice. Finally, grab the antidotes, and yeah, with some like random food and some emergency food, this is pretty much it for the Dagonath King setup done in basically under a minute. In the past, I would need to like just basically scramble through my bank in order to see what I need, and honestly it was not really efficient for me to like grab, you know, item by item. Oh, what do I take? With this, I'm certain that what I'm taking is exactly what I need. And very quickly before we continue, the one thing I mentioned before is that whenever you have both your gear and inventory ready, you can right-click the white arrows at the bottom right corner of the bank, go ahead and click Preview, accept it, and every single thing that you are wearing and is in your bag is going to be put in this tab, and then you can manually organize it. I personally like to do it one by one just to be a little more organized, I would say, but you can do whatever you want. You can get everything ready, continue, or you can do it like me where you put every single item and then you organize it from there. So let's continue. For the very final part of the video, I am going to show you all of my tabs. I'm obviously not going to go into, in depth because this video has already been kind of long, as you can tell. So these are all of my tabs just in case you want to copy any of them. Tombs of a Mascot. This is my recording tab, just to get the recording gear ready. As you can see, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. Easy as that. I also grab my construction cape or Vovoculus and so on and so forth. Right now, this is for my farming trip. Only need your magic sector and the max cape. This is for General Slayer. This is for General Melee Slayer. Next one is for Clue Scrolls. This first one is for like outside world clue scrolls, and this one is for the wilderness specifically. If I die with what I have here, I'm perfectly okay with that, and obviously with these items it's also pretty much good to go. This is my Guardians of the Rift tab. I love Guardians of the Rift, and it obviously deserves a spot here in my bank. I think you can add an unlimited amount of these, which is nice. This is the one for Hydra, obviously the Necklace of Anguish and everything. And I need to substitute. So for example, I'm going to show you this right now. If I put this here in my Hydra tab and then remove layout, boom, there you go. So it's substitute, and that's pretty much it. Here's my Thermonuclear Smoke Devil tab. So I'm going to substitute the Osmumtim's Fang with it. Yoink. Next, we have the Cerberus Task, which obviously, again, we want to go for the Osmumtim's Fang. Easy. And then you have all of the items. This is just like a different item just in case you want to take it. Kraken Task, obviously magic. Then we have the Abyssal Sire. Obviously, I need to substitute this again. Yoink. 1, 2, 3. Easy. All right, with this, next we have the Grotesque Guardians. Again, as I'm doing this, I mean, don't tell me that I'm lazy or something. This is just a really good example to show you how to clean your bank like this, and that's really nice. One thing I've been doing recently is Vorkath is it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I have the I would say the alternate items right here at the bottom. Then we have Chambers of Zarek, then Zulra, obviously with the Twisted Bow. We have something for the Jadron. I have the other helmet right here, just in case I'm not doing it on a Slayer task. Then I have some KBD. I don't have any Black Dragonite right now. Then we have some Barrows, Demonic Gorillas, which this should be the Carol top that I have, but oh well. And then we have this one in order to farm ecumenical keys, bursting tasks, and finally the tab we just did. So yeah, that is pretty much it for all of my tabs, all of the tips that I have for you guys. I really hope this was enjoyable, of course. And yeah, please let me know if you need some organization in your bank. That would be really nice to know, okay? So, with this nice video finally returning from the Tombs of a Mascot, it is time to say that if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and so on. I want to give a massive thank you to every single person that has subscribed monetarily over the past few months. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing, and I honestly cannot thank enough for your support. If you want to click the join button, you can check out all of the monetary pledges and the perks that you can get out of your subscription. And of course, you can let me know in the Discord if you get them so you can get all of your perks. Boys and girls, that's it for this video. I really hope you're excited for the next ones. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next Monday for another banger video as we return to normal from the Tombs of a Mascot. You have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I will see you then. A peace.